What's going on, everybody? So my Monday videos are fantastic for me because I get to learn from all of you. You know, when we turn the camera around and we hear from the vast amount of knowledge and opinion and experience from the viewers in the community, I get to have my eyes opened a lot of the time to things that I hadn't previously considered. And a lot of you have convinced me of a lot of different things about certain cards, certain players, certain sets. And so when I ask questions to all of you for these Monday videos, I'm eager to see the responses, to get an idea of if there's something new that I can add to my arsenal of knowledge, but also want list. I mean, because ultimately that's the hobby, is collecting, learning about things, and adding to our own collection. So a lot of the times when I'm asking about lists, or I'm asking about cards, or I'm asking about things, it's because I want to learn and I want to figure out what is something that I wasn't previously aware of that now I am, and now I can consider it for my collection. And there's certainly a lot of that in this week's answers. See, my question from last week was, what is the iconic card, or not even iconic, but what is the most important card, or not even the most important, but what is the card from 1950 and 51 and 52 and 53 and 54? Go through the entire 1950s year by year and tell me what card is the card from each year. And for some people, you interpret that as, oh, well, it's the most iconic card, or the best rookie card, or the most beautiful card. Some people, it was all baseball. Some people sprinkled in some football. Some people were mostly football. Some people had some basketball. The variety of answers that people gave were fantastic. And the thing that I like the most about it is that because there's variety, it just shows how different all of our opinions are. And that, that is what the hobby is about. The hobby is about different opinions, sharing thoughts, sharing preferences, and the camaraderie involved in that. So let's take a look at your responses. And as each card that is brought up and suggested and mentioned per year comes up, I will show it on the screen so all of you that are watching can see the card in question and see why it's such a desirable card that the person is suggesting is sort of the important card, the best card from that year. Let's check out these responses. And at the end, by the way, at the end, I'll give my list. So we'll go through all of your lists, and then we'll go to my list at the very end. Check these out. Per your request, here is my list. 1950, the Bowman Don Newcomb. And this is a great example of a really good player, not a Hall of Famer, but a great card and a rookie card. 1951, the Bowman Yogi Berra. This is one of my favorite Yogi Berra cards for sure. 1952, the Burke Ross Ted Williams. Now this Burke Ross set at the early 1950s does have some very cool cards in it. There's a great Jackie Robinson included as well. 1953, the Bowman Color Pee Wee Reese. Now this is one of the more popular and iconic cards of the mid-50s. 1954, the Bowman Willie Mays. Now Willie Mays has so many great cards, and this is obviously one of them. The mid-50s had so many really great sets. 1955, the Bowman Hank Aaron. So this is a set that some people love and some people don't. The wood border is definitely, and I mean, it's a wood border, but it's on a TV, right? Because back then when they had those console TVs. The 1956 Topps Roberto Clemente. Now, I actually like this Clemente more than his rookie card. I think this is a great pick. This is at the top of the list of my picks for 1956. 1957, the Topps Yankee Power Hitters with Mantle and Berra. It's a cool card when they started doing multiplayer cards. This was very, very early on in that. 1958, the Topps World Series Foes. Now, of all the multiplayer cards, this is one of my absolute favorites. You got Mantle, you got Aaron, you got the bunting in the background. And for 1959, the Topps Bob Gibson. A really, really tough rookie card to find well-centered. It's a high number, one of the all-time best pitchers. Great question. I went with iconic cards, whether baseball, football, or basketball. For 1950, the Bowman Autogram rookie card. Now, this is definitely one of the most iconic football cards out there. I'm lucky enough to have this one. 1951, the Bowman Mickey Mantle rookie card. Hard to go wrong with a Mickey Mantle. Hard to go wrong with his rookie card. This really is a great card that sometimes I think is overshadowed by his 52 Topps, but it is a fantastic card. 1952, the Topps Jackie Robinson. You can see the deep red background. This is such a beautiful card. It has really shot up in price over the last couple, 2, 3, 4 years. It is a gorgeous card. 1953 Topps, the Willie Mays. Now, anytime you are looking at these older 50s cards, you know, the portraits that were done of these guys are fantastic. A lot of the ones this year were up tight of a player's face. This one is more of an action shot. It's a beautiful, beautiful image. 1954, the Topps Henry Aaron rookie card. Can't go wrong with a Hank Aaron. I mean, it's beautiful orange background. Iconic card, beautiful card. 1955 Topps Roberto Clemente rookie card. It's hard to say it's not a great pick when it's a Roberto Clemente, especially his rookie. 1956 Topps Mickey Mantle. This is my personal favorite Mickey Mantle card. The action shot down below is fantastic. Great image of him. And then we got a basketball card, the 57 Topps Bill Russell rookie card. Bill Russell was one of the first dominant big man, not the first, but one of them. Won all those titles, as we know, with the Celtics. Great card. 1958, the Topps Jim Brown rookie card. That's a great choice. I'm fortunate enough to have this one as well. And then the 1959 Topps Stan Musial. After all those years without a Topps base card, he had the 58 All-Star, and then his first base is in the 59 Topps set. Great choice. On this week's awesome question, I'll most go with vintage football cards, but there is one exception. For 1950, the Bowman Autogram. The rookie card on an all-time winner and innovator at the QB position. For 1951, the Bowman Tom Landry. The rookie card of a guy who would go on to change the game as a coach. 1952, the Bowman Large, Frank Gifford. Rookie card of a great player, a guy we all listened to every Monday night for many years. 1953, the Bowman Mickey Mantle. The perfect storm for me picking a baseball card. I don't really care for the 53 Bowman football, And when I was 5 years old, I pulled a reprint of the 53 Bowman Mantle, thinking it was real. I loved that thing. My parents told me about 3 years later it was a reprint and I was crushed. I still have it because memories like that are what make the hobby great. 1954, the Bowman George Blanda, the rookie card of football's Iron Man. I feel like he played for about 40 years. 1955, the Topps All-American Don Hudson. Lots of cards you could pick from this set. I'm going with the rookie of football's first truly great receiver. 1956, the Topps Lenny Moore. Lenny Moore was one of the first backs to also impact the passing game. He vastly is underrated as a player, and his rookie card is awesome looking. 1957, the Topps Johnny Unitas. Boy, this was a tough one between Unitas and Starr. Johnny U was the face of the NFL for years, and seeing him in old NFL highlights is a vivid memory of my childhood. It's close, but I am going to take Unitas over the Starr. 1958, the Topps Jim Brown. An easy choice. The Brown rookie is the best football card ever made, in my opinion. 1959, the Topps Sam Huff. Okay, hear me out. Tom Landry literally designed the revolutionary 4-3 defense around Sam Huff. Football may look very different in terms of defense today without Sam Huff. I think that makes his rookie card a worthy choice here. The list. The 1950 Bowman Larry Doby. This, to me, is an absolutely stunning card. The 51 Bowman has the same image, but man, I absolutely love this one. 1951, the Bowman Willie Mays. You can't go wrong picking Willie Mays. You can't go wrong with the Willie Mays rookie card. I think this is another outstanding choice. 1952, the Topps Jackie Robinson. Again, we've seen this one picked earlier, and for good reason. It's a stunning image. It's from an iconic set. It's from an iconic player. It's kind of where everything meets is on this card. And it's no wonder that the price has gone up so much recently. 1953, the Topps Satchel Paige. Now, for a lot of people, this is kind of a grail goal card. It can be expensive, and it is absolutely stunning. And because he just has less than a handful of cards, this is the only one that's even borderline, if you could call it, affordable. 1954, the Topps Ernie Banks. Now, you know my feelings on this card. I think it is the best card ever, and it's a great guy and a great player, and an absolutely great image from a great set in a great year. Everything about this card is fantastic. 1955, the Topps Roberto Clemente. Again, this one was also picked earlier for very good reason. A great player, a great humanitarian, and a beautiful card. 1956, the Topps Mickey Mantle. Again, as I mentioned earlier, I think this is Mantle's best looking card in my opinion. 1957, the Topps Brooks Robinson. Brooks Robinson is maybe the best defensive player at any position. He's certainly in the conversation. But his youth in this picture is amazing. It's one of the 3 gold cards I've had for the last 35 years. And a lot of that has to do with not just him being a great guy, but it being an outstanding picture. 1958, the Topps Hank Aaron. This is such a great image of Hank Aaron. The M for Milwaukee on his hat. The fact that the hat has shown some wear. He's got this youthful image. Just the green background is such a great card. 1959, the Topps Bob Gibson. Again, a tough card to find, an absolutely dominating pitcher. And I don't know, there's something about the pink background that gives it just that much more of a memorable appearance. He says, "My only rule was no player could get more than one card. Otherwise, there would be more Mantles. Also, the fact that there is no Ted Williams borders on ridiculous." I chose my favorite card from each year that I do not own. 1950, the Drake's TV, number 14, is my favorite Warren Spahn card. Now, this is a card that you don't see very often. You don't see it talked about, but is a very cool card. For 1951, I picked the 50-51 Toleteros Joshua Gibson, the Hank Aaron of the Negro Leagues, and this card was talked about a lot during the Baseball Card Hall of Fame discussions. Very cool card of an important player. 1952, the Coke Tips Test, Willie Mays. Again, a card that you don't see very often, you don't see talked about very often, but when you see something like this, you can certainly see why somebody would be a fan of it. 1953, the Bowman color, number 33, Pee Wee Reese. This was chosen earlier, and it is a gorgeous card. One of the first, if not the first, true action shots, even though it was posed. Yes, I know. 1954, the Topps, number 94, Ernie Banks. Again, anytime this is chosen, you know I'm going to like this pick. It's a beautiful card. 1955, Topps, the number 164, Roberto Clemente. Again, Clemente's rookie card, you can't go wrong. And 1956, the Topps, number 30, Jackie Robinson. Now, this is one of my personal favorite Jackie Robinson cards. I have the 55, which has a very similar, well, it's the same image on the portrait portion, and is an absolutely stunning card. The last card of, one of the most, if not the most important players of the era. 1957, the Topps number 119, Bart Starr. Now, I love that we snuck in a football card here on a mostly baseball card list, and I totally understand the desire to have the Bart Starr. It's on my personal want list as well. It's an absolutely terrific card. 1958, the Topps Hank Aaron. As was mentioned earlier when it was chosen, it's just, there's something about this particular image and the way that the portrait just jumps off of that green background. I just think it's a fantastic card. It is my favorite Hank Aaron card. 1959, the Yoo-Hoo Yogi Berra. Now, we know Yoo-Hoo was a drink. It's sort of like a fake chocolate milk sort of thing. Not a set you hear talked about a lot, but definitely a very, very cool card. 1959 Topps, the Frank Robinson. Clemente, I think, would be my runner-up. The 59 Topps is one of my favorite designs. Classic. 1958, the Topps Hank Aaron. Again, this is a popular pick for good reason. I know that this isn't super early in his career. I mean, it is, but not really, really early. But he still looks like he's about 22 years old in the picture. And it is such a great pick. 1957, the Topps Sandy Koufax. The Dodger Slugger is a great combo, though. Now, the Sandy Koufax here is cool. It is a tight shot of him. A fair amount of his pictures are pulled back a little bit. So this is one where you can really get a good look at his face. And if you're a portrait collector, you like the tighter shots of the players. I could definitely see why this would be an appealing one. 1956, the Topps Mickey Mantle. Interesting to me how many people picked the Mantle here. Now, again, I think it's the best looking Mantle. I think it's a fantastic card, but there are so many good looking cards in this set. I'm a little surprised that there wasn't more of a mix, but no Bowman set to compete really kind of narrows it to just the Topps. 1955, the Topps Jackie Robinson. I appreciate the 1955 Bowman TV design, though. Not sure what my favorite is yet. Now, the 55 Topps Jackie Robinson is one of the cards in my collection that I feel really, really fortunate to have. I just think that the yellow background with Jackie Robinson on there is a fantastic image. And, all Jackie Robinson cards are great, really. The 1954 Bowman, Ted Williams. I did consider the Duke Snider card as well. Now, the 54 Bowman set has some fantastic pictures. The Ted Williams is a short print, making it a little bit more iconic and well-known. But it is a great image as well. It's a really great card. 1953, Topps, Satchel Paige. Gorgeous card, right? Whitey Ford 53 Topps is in the discussion for me, as is the 53 Bowman Musial. Again, as we mentioned earlier with the Satchel Paige, aren't a lot of cards to pick from. This is the most affordable option, but the portrait that was done here is just absolutely, it's just a stunning picture. 1952, the Bowman Willie Mays. His 52 Topps is an iconic card also, but I think I prefer the 52 Bowman. I think that's a really interesting pick. I know the card, it's an expensive card, but sometimes when there are cards in the same year that are a little bit more iconic, they do overshadow the other years and other cards from the same years. And I totally get what he's saying here. 1951, the Bowman Bob Feller. But I like the Yogi Berra too. Yeah, the Feller is a great, great card. You can see the image here is a really cool one. A nice tight shot where you can get a good look of his face. And he kind of spans some of the gaps in consistency in cards. And so his run is kind of a scattered one. The 1950 Bowman, Roy Campanella. I also like the Spawn. Bowman must have two, or they were lazy. Used the same image in 51. I agree. Adobe and the Spawn are all the same image in 50 and 51. The Campanella has a different image in 50 and 51. Both are great cards. This is his second-year card and is kind of crazy affordable for a second-year card of Roy Campanella. Many great rookies from the 50s, but I wanted to do without them. Makes the list a bit more challenging and fun too. So you guys know me, I cannot help myself from participating. So I wanted to share my picks, but I didn't want to do repeats. So if a card was already picked, I didn't include it. And I wanted to do a variety of players, so I only chose each player once. So for 1950, I went with the Bowman Jackie Robinson. I think that this pose is kind of an iconic pose. I think it's a beautiful card. I absolutely love the 50 Bowman set. It's not a tight shot, but most of Jackie's cards are. So this is a unique one where it's not right there on top of him. In 51, I went with the Bowman Roy Campanella. Now, this kind of action move of him throwing his catcher's mask off, the cool background with the stadium seating, and I just think that it's a gorgeous card of a super important player. Nobody picked the 52 Topps Mickey Mantle, so I had to take advantage of that. I mean, it is the iconic card from the hobby, and it is, the most beloved player in the hobby. And I just seemed like this video couldn't be complete unless the 52 Mantle showed up. 53, I went with the Bowman Warren Spahn. This is one of the most beautiful images on any card, in my opinion. As you guys know, I'm a Warren Spahn fan. I think it is a gorgeous card. The colors, the focus on him with the blurred out background, it's just such a beautiful card. Now, Ted Williams has a lot of great cards. I don't think there's one that's more beautiful than the 54 Topps, though. So I thought about the K-line. I thought about, some others. The banks had already been chosen. But I think this is a beautiful card of Ted Williams. Again, it's the last card in the set. For 55, nobody chose the Koufax rookie, which shocked me. I think that it's one of the most beautiful cards of all time. So this was kind of an easy choice for me. Even if I had every card to pick, I would have picked this one. I think the 55 Topps Sandy Koufax rookie is gorgeous. Now, 56 is tough because, I like the Clemente, I like the Mantle. But the Aaron's a great card. And I know people are going to say, but that's not him sliding in the background. They say it's Willie Mays sliding in the background. But I just think it's a beautiful card. And you got to include Hank Aaron. For 57 Topps, because, my Brooks Robinson had already been taken, I went with the Frank Robinson. I love how he's got the bat choked up there. Such an underappreciated player, not just in the game, but also in the hobby. Great card. Now, the 58 Topps, the Hank Aaron's a great card, and his teammate has an equally great card in the Eddie Mathews. Similar reasons that I love the Hank Aaron, but just it's a beautiful image. It's a beautiful background. It's such a simple card, but such a beautiful card. 59 was probably my hardest choice. I went with the Roberto Clemente. I love it when these guys have weathered hats. I love it when these guys have tighter shots. I think the yellow background, which matches the P in Pittsburgh, is fantastic. For next week, here is my question. When searching for a card for your collection, are you more drawn towards cards that are rare or iconic? So if you were to get, say, a Yogi Berra or a Hank Aaron, are you more intrigued by the rarer card that isn't as accessible and is hard to find? Or are you more intrigued with the recognizable card of the player? I am super interested to hear your thoughts on that discussion of rare cards versus iconic cards for your personal collection. Let me know what y'all think about that one.